And I am very pleased to have as our guest on this first segment of the show, Arthur Sullivan and Chris Starr from the Brady Sullivan Company. Arthur, welcome. Chris, welcome.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to be here.
Well, Arthur, let me just start by talking a little bit about Brady Sullivan Properties. Just a large company with a big footprint in New England. Just maybe share with our viewers about what you do.
Sure. And maybe I'll go to the beginning a little bit for you and tell you the history. Back in 1992, those are considered some dark times for a lot of people in real estate. I was involved in real estate, and Shane Brady's father was involved in real estate. And we decided at that point it was a good time to see opportunities that were occurring, and we merged together, and we built a good little business, starting with buying a lot of FDIC properties at very low prices. And from there we morphed into buying larger and larger properties, and continue to do, as we are today, a lot of mill conversions where.
And a lot of those mill conversions, I mean, these are historic, we'll get into some of the specifics with the junction shop, but a lot of it's around historic preservation or redevelopment, right?
A lot of, pretty much everything we buy is repurposed. So when we buy a mill building, obviously those are buildings that are in severe need of repurposing, and I think we got pretty good at doing those.
And in Central Mass, several properties over the years, and some in the works?
Yes. As a matter of fact, obviously we're very big into New Hampshire, but we've slowly come into much of Massachusetts, and obviously here in Worcester, and we're happy to be here, and we have a great project, we believe.
Right. Clinton, I know, as well, right?
Yes, Clinton. We started phase 1. We're now on to phase 2, and that's almost in completion as well.
And as you mentioned, where there's challenges or crisis, it's also a moment for opportunity, as it's been said. And Chris, you're the quarterback of the Junction Mill Shop property, and in a minute we're going to show our viewers, or a few minutes of viewers, some of the pictures. But just maybe you could tell us a little bit about the Junction Mill Shops, the history, and kind of what's happened.
Sure, it's got a fascinating history. The building was initially constructed in 1851, actually, Tim, and technically the building is comprised of 15 separate structures. As the economy grew back in the day, the mill owners kept expanding. The first occupant of the mill was actually the Farley Organ Company. It was the world's largest producer of organs, interesting fact. And then they were followed by Knowles Loom Works. They were a major maker of the loom machinery, which are heavily utilized, obviously, in the textile industry. And finally, the Cereal Machine Company was a major occupant and user in the mill space, and they were the first users or inventors of shredded wheat. They were ahead of their time in terms of healthy foods, and actually they were purchased by the Nabisco Company, ironically, in the 1930s. So it's got quite an interesting history.
Well, and all the additions in the history kind of really speak to Worcester and Central Mass legacy of manufacturing and kind of innovation. But I've got to believe, when you've got 15 separate kind of structures, that presents some challenges in kind of the conversion and construction side.
Yeah, quite a bit of challenges. There are a lot of unknowns, and but you account for those in your planning up front, and you battle through them. And but in some ways, the construction isn't overly complicated. You're dealing with brick, concrete, timbers. It's environmentally responsible as well as compared to new construction with steel and aluminum and plastic and vinyl. So.
And for our viewers, the Junction Mill Shops, Beacon, Herman, and Jackson Streets. So Coney Island for many people in Central Mass, might be a reference point. If you literally come out of the front door, Coney Island, up to your left, up on the hill, Junction Mill Shops, and an incredible transformation. And if we could, we'll just take a moment and we'll go to some of the pictures which show the incredible before and after of the Junction Mill Shop construction in close proximity to the former Boys and Girls Club on Ionic Ave. And having had a chance now to tour it a couple of times, really incredible. And just you're showing it now. It's available to lease.
Well, these mill buildings were built obviously for a different purpose, but at the end of the day, they make terrific housing alternatives for folks, and enormous window openings. People love natural light, and the average window size is probably 5 feet wide by 10 or 12 feet tall. So they really lend themselves well, although they weren't designed for this purpose for housing. And in particular, the Junction Shop, compared to other mills we've developed, has quite a variety of dwelling units inside. And in addition, we do put a lot of focus on community amenities, Tim, as you saw when you visited the property. We've got a gathering room, we've got a fitness room, a basketball court, a game room, we've got a putting green.
Courtyard.
A courtyard,
fire
we've got
pit.
an outdoor fire pit,
Yeah.
outdoor grill, so we try to really build a sense of community in every project that we tackle, and in particular the junction shops. I think we probably have more of that common amenity spaces than
Right.
any other project we've developed.
Yeah, no, magnificent. And after, your company has grown, you talked about, has apartment, in these menu of options that a lot of these repurposing of mill buildings provide in terms of mix of kind of options for people, apartment living grown?
Yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, you'll find that the majority of the people that are renting these historic mill buildings, loft apartments, are people that typically would not be apartment dwellers to begin with. They have the wherewithal for the most part to financially afford a house, but they choose to live in these environments, and it's very unique. I think there's certainly a lot of people out there that don't feel they need a home. They are very happy to have an apartment, which obviously is a home to them. But it's kind of like less is more, and with all the amenities, as Chris say, it almost becomes a social atmosphere, and it's really works very well for folks that want to be there.
So you mentioned, Worcester coming in, Worcester and Worcester. What I want to ask both,
Sure,
both
sure.
of you. What made the junction shops, and then we'll go to maybe the second exciting project that hopefully will be taking place soon. But what drew you to Worcester, and what do you see the market?
Well, first and foremost, Tim, if I may, Worcester's got tremendous population, tremendous history. It's a great community. There are 180,000 people approximately in the city, plus 30,000, a little more, I guess, students. About half the households are renter households, so you've got about 70,000 renter households, and the housing stock is fine. However, it's
Being an older city,
some of it is substandard, so it's an older city, and so and this mill we view it as a diamond in the rough. It really had grown derelict and decrepit over the years, but it was the mill itself was a great physical structure, and again the intrinsic population in Worcester and so forth. And Worcester does have a slightly higher percent of the households in renter housing, so there's a demand in particular for rental housing, and so it was a natural.
And the project creating a significant amount of jobs, expanding the tax base, really helping revitalize a section of the city that people had ignored.
Yeah.
But we got another building, we just got a couple minutes left, but another building that Brady Sullivan has an agreement with the city of Worcester for the old courthouse on Main and Highland Street.
Yeah, obviously a phenomenal structure in itself, and we're very, very pleased to have the opportunity in the city allowing us that opportunity to come and redevelop that, and hopefully you'll see more, if not better, than what you've seen already from the junction shops. It's a great opportunity for us, and we're very excited about it.
As our viewers saw from the pictures, I mean, just the physical transformation, and words. I encourage any of our viewers to drive by, take a look, go online, and this ability to go online. I think of the
yes, it is. BradySullivan.com.
BradySullivan.com. Go online and see the junction shops. If that transformation, which we know to replicate in activating Lincoln Square, I mean that's going to be magnificent.
Great.
We think so.
Well, I want to thank you, both great chamber member business and the two individuals who are putting their money where their mouth is and investing in this community and helping change it in a positive way. And we look forward to having you back. We could talk a little bit about the courthouse and maybe show the before and after pictures there.
That'd be great.
Well, thanks, Tim, and thanks for the good work you and
Yeah.
the chamber do as well.